all the things that you have done, all the souls you led to Christ, the selfless love you showed to all, for the kingdom you gave your all, for all the lives that you have touched, the broken heart you're giving hope, the battered mind you listen to, for your kind you pray to God. We say thank you for giving your all, the sacrifice of love. Thank you, we say thank you for yielding His call and teaching us in His way.
Today's story begins about a ship in the Atlantic, caught in a violent storm. Among the passengers was Dwight Lyman Moody, a renowned evangelist gripped by fear as waves threatened to engulf the vessel. Unlike Jesus calming the storm with authority, Moody initially panicked, crying out to God for his own safety. It wasn't until the ship's captain urged him to preach that Moody found courage. He opened his Bible, repented of his selfishness, and boldly shared the gospel. Many on board received salvation that night, and by morning, a rescue ship had arrived. This experience profoundly transformed Moody's ministry, solidifying his resolve to live fully surrendered to God's will. Before this pivotal moment, Moody was already a respected figure in Christian circles. Born on February 5, 1837, in Northfield, Massachusetts, he was the sixth of 9 children. His father's untimely death plunged the family into poverty, and young Moody had to leave school after the 5th grade. At 17, he moved to Boston to work in his uncle's shoe store under one condition: he must attend church. It was at Mount Vernon Congregational Church that Moody met his Sunday school teacher, Edward Kimball. On April 21, 1855, Kimball visited Moody at the store and shared the love of Christ with him. That conversation changed Moody's life. He accepted Jesus and began a journey of unwavering faith. In 1856, Moody moved to Chicago to pursue wealth as a shoe salesman. Despite his business success, he was deeply burdened for the unchurched. He started a Sunday school for children in his community, using creative methods like handing out sweets and toys to gather kids. Once he had their attention, he shared Bible stories and the gospel. His passion for souls soon caught the attention of the YMCA, where he tirelessly served as a volunteer, even performing janitorial tasks. By 1860, he left the business world to become a full-time missionary, focusing on the underprivileged in Chicago. Moody's ministry flourished, especially amongst children from impoverished neighborhoods. His Sunday school grew so large that it outgrew the meeting hall, leading him to establish a new church in 1864. During the Civil War, Moody expanded his outreach to soldiers, ministering on battlefields and camps. However, the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 devastated everything he had built. Rather than despair, Moody re-evaluated his ministry, realizing he had been asking God to follow his plans. From then on, he sought to follow God's leading fully. This shift led to Moody's international ministry. In 1872, accompanied by musician Ira Sankey, he traveled to the United Kingdom, where his dynamic preaching and Sankey's hymns drew thousands to Christ. Moody's work inspired countless lay people to begin children's ministries and training schools for women. His ministry back home also expanded as he began a major evangelical tour across America. Moody's commitment to education was unwavering. In 1879, he founded the Northfield Seminary for girls, followed by the Mount Hermon for boys. These schools offered quality education to the poor and marginalized. In 1886, he established the Chicago Evangelization Society, now known as Moody Bible Institute, a training ground for generations of Christian leaders. Throughout his life, Moody practiced personal evangelism. It's said he made a vow never to end a day without sharing Christ with at least one person. Over his lifetime, he spoke directly to more than 75,000 individuals. His boldness and trust in God made his ministry impactful, both locally and globally. On December 22, 1899, Moody passed away, leaving a legacy of faith, humility, and relentless service to God. Reflecting on his life, he once said, "The happiest days of my life have been when I have tried to do the will of God." What about you? Are you living in surrender to God's will? Moody once sought wealth and comfort but found true purpose in yielding his life to God. His story reminds us that when we let go of our own plans, God can use us in extraordinary ways. To Dwight Lyman Moody, the greatest evangelist of his time, thank you. Your life inspires us to live with purpose, serve with humility, and trust in God completely. Gracias, D.L. Moody. Gracias.
For all the things that you have done, all the souls you led to Christ, the selfless love you showed to all, for the kingdom you gave your all, for all the lives that you have touched, the broken heart you're giving hope, the battered mind you listen to. For your kind you pray to God. We say thank you for giving your all, the sacrifice of love. Thank you. We say thank you for yielding his call and teaching us in his way.